You're listening to Emerson Whitner's NXT Report on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Emerson Whitner, and this is your NXT audio update for Thursday, January 14th, 2016. After a 2-week hiatus, I am back, baby, with some NXT right here on both WrestlingOutsiders.com and AngryMarks.com. NXT returned to full sail for the first time since December with an interesting little show. So let's jump right into it. First of all, Rich Brennan and Byron Saxton are out of the announce table. Instead, Tom Phillips is here to announce with Corey Graves. Rich Brennan did a little bit of backstage interviews, while Byron Saxton is officially kicked to the curb, I guess. The show started with the return of NXT General Manager Mr. William Regal, who had been out for a few months recovering from surgery. Mr. Regal thanked the fans for making NXT the fastest growing promotion in the world before announcing a battle royal with the winner getting a shot at the women's title. Before walking away, he introduced the returning Sami Zayn. This is, of course, Sami's first appearance in the NXT arena since TakeOver Unstoppable back in May, and he got quite the reaction by the crowd coming out with a standing ovation, chants of welcome back, while they also sang an extended version of the Ole Ole song. Sami said he loved to be back and announced that he's here to become the first ever 2-time NXT champion, which led to chants of 2 times. This brought out Samoa Joe, who was not happy about losing to Finn Balor at TakeOver London. He stated that he's happy Sami's back and can appreciate Zayn wanting to be champion, but he does not deserve the title match. The last time Sami was in the ring, he had to be saved by Joe after a beating by Kevin Owens. Joe pointed out that Finn Balor even said that he did not beat Samoa Joe at TakeOver. He survived against Samoa Joe at TakeOver. And Joe said that if Sami wants to continue life not being injured, he will leave the ring, which brought up Baron Corbin. Corbin agreed with Joe and said Zayn belongs in the back of the line. However, at TakeOver, he defeated Apollo Crews, while Samoa Joe failed in his shot at the gold. While Sami was at home rehabilitating, he was passed by someone hungrier and more durable. Corbin proclaimed himself the uncrowned NXT champion. Joe pointed out that he choked out Corbin at TakeOver Brooklyn, so he doesn't belong in the conversation. He threatened Zayn again before leaving. Sami pointed out he's standing in the middle of the ring, so Baron attacked him from behind. Corbin went for end of days, but Sami got around it and booted Corbin out of the ring. Joe returned and teased attacking Zayn from behind, but stopped when Sami turned around. Backstage, Bayley cut a promo saying that she survived her match with Nia Jax, and honestly didn't know that she had all that inside of her. She's jealous because she's a huge mark for Battle Royals, but said she may give the winner of the Battle Royal a hug tonight. The winners of the 2015 NXT Awards, each person got a plaque with a gold ring bell and a gold hammer on it. And they showed pictures with them posing with Triple H and William Regal. The award winners for Tag Team of the Year, Enzo and Colin Cassidy. Female Competitor of the Year was Bayley. Male Competitor of the Year was Finn Balor. The Takeover of the Year award went to NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. Unfortunately, they didn't show the Brooklyn Arena with the plaque sitting next to it. I think that would have been hilarious. Match of the Year was Bayley versus Sasha Banks from Brooklyn, and the overall Competitor of the Year was Finn Balor. The first match, 20 minutes into the show, we got our first match of 2016, Tommaso Ciampa versus Danny Burch. Burch, of course, didn't get his entrance, but he did get quite a bit of offense here. Ciampa at one point hit a really nice draping STO, In my opinion, that should have been his finish, but Burch kicked out. Burch got a near fall with a punch to the face. No, really, he got a near fall with a punch to the face. But Ciampa picked up the win with an armbar after rolling over Burch's back, which looked really nice. Enzo and Cass said they will not forget being injured by Dash and Dawson. Enzo said real G's never lose, and real men don't hide behind women, and they vowed to finish the business between them. Billie Kay, Deonna Purrazzo, and Emma all cut little promos saying that they would win the Battle Royal. The highlight being Billie Kay starting her promo by saying, "In case you forgot, I'm Billie Kay." And I guarantee 90% of the people watching had no idea who she was. Mr. Regal announced that in 2 weeks, it will be Sami Zayn, Samoa Joe, and Baron Corbin in a #1 contenders triple threat match. We then got NXT Tag Team Champions Dash and Dawson versus the longest NXT Tag Team Champions in history, the Ascension. The Ascension continue to be gods to the NXT crowd. I always think it's funny how much they put over their tag title reign when they were champions that long, because there were literally no other teams in NXT for 6 months. Their entire gimmick was every week they would take on a different pairing of jobbers. Victor started the match by beating the living crap out of Dash Wilder. Honestly, he probably beat the dead crap out of him too. Dash got tired of being stiff, so he leveled Victor with a clothesline. And the champs got the heat on Victor while the announcers complained about Enzo and Cass being Tag Team of the Year. Connor got the hot tag, and he used the Dusty Rhodes flip-flop and fly routine on Dawson. We got our Pier 6 brawl before Dash and Dawson picked up the win with their finish. Nia Jax was being worked on by the trainer, and the trainer did not clear her to compete in the Battle Royal, so Mr. Regal refused to let her enter. Eva Marie was standing behind her with a big smile on her face, happy that her largest opponent, even though Nia Jax is a friend, she was happy that her largest opponent was not going to be in the match. Carmella, Peyton Royce, and Alexa Bliss all said they would win the Battle Royal. For Christmas, Carmella got a tanning bed. Elias Sampson pinned Corey Hollis. The random fact of the week was Elias Sampson does not use public transportation. Not sure where that one came from. Anyway, Hollis looked at Sampson like, dude, remember when we were both nameless jobbers together? This was Sampson's second real match since being repackaged. The first one saw him beat Bull Dempsey a few weeks ago in a bad match no one cared about. This one saw him win a mem match that a couple people cared about, so it's getting a little better. Anyone with a swinging neck breaker. After the match, Sampson announced that what NXT needs is what he is. So I guess NXT needed a drifter. I don't know. Alex Reyes interviewed Finn Balor about the upcoming #1 contenders triple threat match. Balor said the Joe match was physically and mentally draining. Joe was a monster, but as champion, he never rests and faced every challenger head on. He pointed out all 3 challengers plead a good case as to why they should get the title match, and as far as he's concerned, the title will stay with him regardless who wins. Cameron, yes, that Cameron, Aaliyah, Liv Morgan, and Asuka all said they would win the Battle Royal, leading to the #1 contenders Battle Royal, which started with an amazing series of moments to start the Battle Royal. Only a couple people got actual entrances. Eva Marie came out, and of course she slowly took her time, walked into the ring, and she began pouting as her music was cut off for Asuka's music. Eva then took offense as Asuka just walked by her and got into the ring. So when the match started, Eva had something to say to Asuka. So Asuka kicked her head into the middle of the back row. I have never felt so bad for Eva Marie as when Asuka kicked her right in the frickin' head. This was an over-the-top rope battle royal, so Eva was allowed to roll under the bottom rope and have emergency head reattachment surgery before continuing. And if you think you know the finish of the match when I told you that, not yet. Aaliyah in her debut was the first one eliminated, followed by Deonna Purrazzo, who can now go lose a battle royal in TNA, Cameron, Liv Morgan, Alexa Bliss, and Emma were the next few out. Alexa Bliss really should have been the favorite since she's shorter than the top rope, but nope, she got eliminated. At one point, Liv Morgan lifted Cameron up for a powerbomb, but dropped her. Instead of editing it out, they just went right back to the spot. Morgan lifted her up, started to carry her across the ring, and Alexa Bliss came over and tossed them both out. It came down to Peyton Hoyt, Billie Kay, and Asuka. Asuka eliminated both of them when Eva Marie ran in and eliminated her. However, earlier in the match, Carmella had been laid out outside the ring, and so they did a takeoff of the normal Battle Royal finish that WWE did like over and over again, where someone pretended to be injured and then ran in to win. Instead, in this one, Carmella, of all people, ran up from behind, threw out Eva Marie, and became number one contender. Bayley ran down and hugged her friend and next challenger, and Asuka just smiled as she walked away. So doom is coming for Eva Marie, as she was, of course, the one to eliminate Asuka. So that is it. It was a decent episode of NXT. Nothing you'll cry about if you miss, but just a fun show overall. Thank you all for listening, and again, check out WrestlingOutsiders.com. 100% free audio 100% of the time. Take care, have a good week, and adios.
You're listening to Emerson Whitner's NXT Report on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.